Hello and welcome to PreFlight TV. I'm Mark Newman and this is episode number 1. Today we're going to examine a few kneeboards and make some decisions about the various options available. I know what you're thinking, wow, this is exciting stuff. What about GPSs or headphones or weather reporting systems? Well, we'll get to those in the future episodes. For right now, let's just stay to the basics. Every pilot needs a kneeboard of some sort. In this episode, we're going to examine the thing that gets strapped to your leg. Not all the stuff that gets inside of it. We can talk about that in future episodes. Also, there's many more varieties of kneeboards than we can cover here. We're going to talk about 3 basic types. One is glorified clipboard. 2 is the bifold with a pocket on one side, and the 3rd is a trifold. A few items you want to carry in your kneeboard: pad of paper, some kind of charts. You want to have a weather report. Don't have one here. And maybe you want to have a checklist or 2. You're going to need to have pens if you're going to write with. I like to carry at least 2 because I'm always dropping them. And an AFD, that's good to have with you whenever you're flying as well. And if you're flying at night, you need a flashlight. None of these things need to be located in your kneeboard. However, they need to be available when you need them available. So a kneeboard's a good place to store. For some people, a notepad with some pens is all they need to write down ATIS and whatever ATC tells them. But me, I'm not a long-term pilot, and I'm flying the same routes every day. I need charts and checklists, and I don't trust myself to remember even the frequencies of my home airport. I don't own my own airplane, so I can't put all this stuff in my aircraft either. In my opinion, a kneeboard needs to have a pocket to hold stuff. Otherwise, it's just a pad of paper with a strap. A clipboard may work for flight instructors or acrobatic or military pilots, but they're absolute rubbish for the rest of us. This is the smallest thing that I found that fits the bill. This here is the Mini Z from ZuluWorks. It's barely more than a clipboard with a strap. But the biggest problem with this is that the pen slots are facing the length of your leg, like this. And during flight, when it's on your leg, they tend to fall out. So it makes them pretty much useless. So I added in this little metal pen holder to the side to make it a little more useful. The other thing is that it doesn't really have a whole lot of room for much of anything. You could fit some charts in here, but you're pretty much going to have to fold whatever you put in there. So it's not really a great holder, but it's better than having just a clipboard. And the clipboard is very small. ZuluWorks does have these checklists, which are kind of neat, but you could add your own or whatever. That's not the biggest end of the world there. The other thing, too, is that the Velcro strap has plenty of room for adjustments for your leg. But when it's open, this Velcro here, and this is for closing it, rubs against the strap. And I put some tape here to help protect it because it was destroying the elastic. And the coolest feature about this is that the clipboard is adjustable, so you can put it at an angle or the other direction if you are left-handed. If you're flying acrobatics or you want, this might be a perfect kneeboard, but for longer trips, there's no place to store charts. I ended up adding this trifold to my flight bag when I was flying with the Mini Z. And it's great for storing charts and AFDs and additional notepads, or just charts that you're not actually going to use during your flight or don't expect to use. Because the Mini Z is, as you can see, pretty small. And I wouldn't recommend it for anything except like flying a DA-20. But if you're going to be flying with one of these, you're also going to need to have a little more storage like this, and I keep it in the seat behind me still to this day for extra stuff. At the opposite end of the spectrum is this ASA trifold monster. This is the kneeboard that everybody buys when they first start flight training. It'll do in a pinch, but it's a hassle to use, and it doesn't really retain anything very well. These are very flimsy and loose. This is not cheaper than a better quality made kneeboard, and I recommend getting something better than this. Jepson makes one just like it, and I wouldn't recommend either of them. In both cases, the pen holders are elastic straps, but if you've got a large pen, this ergonomic pen, they're pretty hard to get into the straps, and you really do have to look down for any pen to get them in there. So they're not terribly convenient, even though they do work quite a bit better than the Mini Z did. Trifolds are great because they have these extra pockets, and you could fit more stuff in them. But they decided that they were going to have your charts go on the right leg here, and your E6B or plotter go into the left leg there. Let me ask you a rhetorical question. If you've got your kneeboard strapped to your leg here, and you have your chart off on the right-hand side, how exactly are you supposed to be looking at your chart during flight? You're propping it up like this? It's just inconvenient. The way they designed this, it would make more sense if it was on your left leg and it was sitting in your lap. Still, even then, you'd only be able to go 70 miles before having to flip the thing over. I know, I've tried. I've bought this camping supply Ziploc bag to do exactly the same thing. And it took me 15 minutes prior to each flight to get this thing folded out the way I needed it to go. And you know, it just wasn't worth it. And so if you want to fold your chart prior to flight, go ahead. But putting it behind a window is just not worth it. Finally, the leg strap has this little tiny Velcro patch, so there's absolutely no leg adjustment as it pertains to this kneeboard. In general, these are just the terrible design kneeboards, and the fact that it's a trifold doesn't really help anything, because if you're flying stick, not that if you're flying Cessna, it's not a big deal, or a Cirrus, it's off on the side. But if you're flying any other stick, it really just gets in the way. There's no reason to have a trifold. And these pockets on this particular model, they don't really hold anything. I think you'd be much better, much happier with a bifolding kneeboard than this piece of junk. At the risk of sounding like a ZuluWorks commercial, here is a ZuluWorks kneeboard. It's a shorter style kneeboard. There are larger ones. If you want to have a larger one, that's fine. I like the shorter ones. It holds everything I want. Larger ones, of course, will hold a larger plotter or a larger E6B, but this one holds everything that I need. The ZuluWorks has solved the problem with the pens. They don't go this way. They go this way. With the Mini Z, they went that way, didn't work. Also, if you have a larger pen, fits in there as well. I've had a few times where I put pens in and I've missed the pockets and they fall out. And it has sort of is a trifold. It's got this little pocket off on the side. It's probably good for a flashlight or a pen. I have a pen in there at the moment. This pocket here is zippered, and it has a large Velcro strap to fit on your leg, which works very well for adjustments. And like the Mini Z, you can adjust this and put the whole contraption onto your other leg if you're left-handed, or just simply like to wear it over there, and you can adjust it if you wanted to write at an angle. The ZuluWorks kneeboards are designed to be used with their pads of paper and their checklists, which are all pretty convenient and cool, but if you want to put anything else underneath the clip here, you'll run into this little piece of metal there that is holding these things in place. Let's take care of that right now. It's threaded on the inside of this peg, so I suspect they were planning on having a gooseneck or something come out of there, but if I decide I want to have a gooseneck light, I'll just attach it someplace else. I don't need this here. So with Dremel in hand, let's just take care of this puppy. Finally, I really do like the ZuluWorks checklists and notepads, but now that we don't have that peg anymore, they're going to be susceptible to sliding around, but we could take care of that with some zip ties or something else. It's really not that big of a deal. Here we've been examining ZuluWorks, but it doesn't really matter what brand of kneeboard that you buy. Just understand the different parts of a kneeboard and why you'd want one over another. It really will affect your flying. No, your aircraft won't fall out of the sky if you choose badly, but it does make a difference, so choose wisely. Thanks for watching PreFlight TV. Visit our website to help support the show or leave a comment on the blog. If you wish to leave a voicemail for whatever reason, call 206-257-9204. We're anxious to hear everything from harsh criticism to show ideas, sponsorships, drunken midnight rants, whatever. See you next week, and I'm going to go flying.